More than 1,300 people will be fired from the Washington, D.C. offices.
Civil servants protect America. And right now, the agency is adrift. Streamlining means that you make an organization more efficient and effective. I don't know how you make it more effective by cutting 15% of the staff.
Let's hop into a CNN segment about massive layoffs in the federal government. In the wake of how chaotic the first round of these were, I thought it would be insightful to see what's going to happen from the second round. So leave us a like on the video if you can. It lets us know you enjoy the content. It gives us a big boost in the algorithm, and it's free. And let's get right into the discussion.
The State Department began its mass firings on Friday as part of a broader overhaul of the U.S. diplomatic agency. More than 1,300 people will be fired from the Washington, D.C. offices. This includes 1,107 members of the civil service and 246 foreign service officers. Nearly 3,000 people in total will be leaving the D.C. workforce, including those who were fired, as well as those who took early retirement or buyout options. The State Department has said that the reorganization is necessary to reduce what they call bloat and inefficiencies here at the State Department. They affect some 300 offices here domestically, including those focused on human rights and refugees.
It flies in the face of reality to do this as conflicts are escalating around the world in the Middle East with Russia, Ukraine, not to mention the boiling over domestic situation with the deportation tensions, as these are largely all diplomatic departments, both domestic and foreign, that he's gutting, something of course he sees no use in as he's preemptively bombing countries and can't make a deal to save his life. This includes, of course, solidifying the USAID cuts, something projected to cost over 14 million lives in the next decade. The Foreign Service Institute is in there. This teaches our diplomats how to speak the language of the countries they're going to be working with, how to integrate into the culture, how to make deals, like what these different countries like, what's disrespectful to them. Consular affairs, something that helps with like visas, passports, because, you know, we want less effective legal immigration, I guess. That's definitely going to help with undocumented, but it all just seems reckless and done in hopes that people don't know what these agencies are, so they probably won't care.
Streamlining means that you make an organization more efficient and effective. I don't know how you make it more effective by cutting 15% of the staff. Let's just give an example. Yesterday, the office that handles multilateral affairs for the Asia Bureau was eliminated while Secretary Rubio is in Asia speaking to multiple allies. That office handles international organizations in Asia. It's now gone. How's that going to make us more effective in our diplomacy with Asia? Bottom line is it's not. It means that China's going to get an advantage. We're going to have nobody covering that spot. I do not see how this makes us more effective at promoting American diplomacy and our interests abroad.
And I also, a couple things. One, civil servants are civil servants. They are not political appointees. Right. They don't serve, they don't change versus a Republican or a Democrat in who's ever in the White House. They're there to serve the Americans.
At this point, I should at least briefly note that this is a major tenet of Project 2025 to fire civil servants who are nonpartisan at a mass level and have them replaced by loyalists. It's called Schedule F. Anyone can find it in Project 2025. And as they do exactly that and they transfer their duties to, the yes men cult cabinet members Trump has appointed, you can again see how Trump always knew what Project 2025 was. Just another lie he told the American people. But the sell is here is to use buzzwords like, oh, we're streamlining it for effectiveness, or we're cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. And in reality, it's just reckless cuts. The guys who didn't touch the Pentagon when going after waste, fraud, and abuse, but, increased its budget, have no room to talk about waste, fraud, and abuse. And the point stands, pulling crucial funding out of anything, let alone crucial agencies, or gutting its workforce, are obviously going to make it less efficient. It's not done to help these agencies, but to destroy them. So down the line, privatization, thus, more wealth for their donors, can replace it.
What does that do to institutional knowledge?
Yeah, Jessica, I'm really glad you asked this. Look, the people who serve in our government, the civil servants, they are patriotic Americans. They take an oath to the Constitution. When I served in Clinton. When I started my career, I served in Bush. Then I left and I came back in as an Obama administration appointee. When you're in the agency as a civil servant, you respond to the American people. And so this sort of description of the American civil service as somehow not being loyal to the administration is completely insane. Quite frankly, it's opposite of anything that I experienced. Civil servants protect America. And right now, the agency is adrift.
These are ways that And these are subtle ways that democracy is slowly being clawed away from the American people. As Republicans state, they'll be passing bills through reconciliation to leave Democrats out despite not getting enough votes to have the seats necessary to really do so. They're just going to weasel their way around reconciliation to do it. And now replacing civil servants with loyalists, or just gutting their agencies and moving the responsibilities to the cabinet members who see Trump as the infallible king, right? It's a lot of work to turn the government into a partisan machine, something that works for the party, not for the people, probably with the long-term goal of one, benefiting from it as long as you can, and then, if it's reversed on you, use that as grounds to rid of the government and attack it and, pull more power away from it to replace it with privatization, more wealth for their donors, all of which is entirely evil, especially when you think of like the services the government provides and how different they would be on a private level. I mean, things as mundane as like roads and transportation to like education, like, K through 12, to healthcare, right? And it's exactly why we need to make sure that Democrats can retain majorities in this midterm and that we can be as effective as possible in 2028 as to assure that nothing like this can ever happen again.